everyone. Welcome back to Just Enough to Suffer. My name is Lou. I'm joined here, as always, by my friend Greg and my other friend Jay. We are back, kind of taking a beat, felt the loss, tasted it, swished it around, and I spit it back out. And you're not going to believe this, but I'm a little confident about this. So, before we get into the game, Greg, why don't you give us, the recent update on your life? Tell us what's been happening. We'll go to Jay, and then we'll get into the game.
Nothing really. I'm getting excited for a big college football slate this weekend. A lot of good games. We got Clemson, Notre Dame, Alabama, LSU, and Georgia, Tennessee. So that's really all I'm focused on right now. NBA starting. It's starting to get into full swing, games on every night. College basketball tipped off last night. That's really kind of all that's been going on. Just been doing that, grinding some camos and Modern Warfare. And
yeah, I'm waiting for the World Series then so I can get on that with you.
How are we feeling? Because it's 2-2 when we're recording this, right?
It's 2-2. It's Thursday, November 3rd. The game starts in about 2 hours. I've always said, as long as it gets back to Houston, I'll take us over anybody. But tonight, I'm not going to – this is not an Astros podcast. Justin Verlander needs to pitch very well tonight to cement his legacy as one of the greatest pitchers of our generation. His entire narrative can change tonight, and that's where a lot of my focus is. Win tonight.
There we go.
Lucianu is a noted Yankees hater. I am a noted Nets hater, and I'm not going to bring up Kyrie. Don't worry. I'm just going to bring this up.
Do whatever you want, Jay. I don't care.
No, listen. I'm just going to bring this up. I just love that Kevin Durant, before the season, was like, either fire the head coach, fire the GM, or trade me. They were like, nah, you're staying. And then he was like, okay, I'll play with the coach. And then 6 games in, they fire the coach, and they hire Greg's former coach, and just bring in that circus. What a circus.
I think it's very obvious that was kind of what they were shooting for. They were trying to get Ime to come in, and for some reason at that exact time, the Nets weren't willing to move on from Nash. But as soon as it became clear that Ime was movable, they made that switch, it seems.
Despite the billion red flags that come along with it.
Well,
hey, can we get Ime? Yeah, sure, take him. No, you don't want anything? No, have him. Take him. Oh, awesome.
This is probably not the right situation to be talking about this, but you're worried, and we'll talk about it down the road.
No, I'm not.
You don't think Marcus Smart's quote was a little bit difficult for you?
No, it wasn't, because I think the whole thing is I have no clue what they told the players and how to handle it, and I think the whole situation is still very messy because we have no clue what actually happened, and I think that's more of a behind-the-scenes type thing. And
you don't think Marcus Smart knows what happened?
I truthfully don't. I don't think they've told them about what's going on. Because you know what happens is they tell one of those guys, it gets to someone in their family or their circle, and then it leaks out, right? So
maybe. I have a hard time believing Marcus Smart doesn't know what happened.
I'm not worried. I think he's more, I don't know.
I wouldn't be worried.
That's some coach.
Kyrie will be gone, KD will be gone, and Ime will be coaching Ben Simmons by the end of the season.
Yeah, and then he'll build him to a finals contender in like 15 minutes.
No. Yeah, great. Cam Thomas. Yeah, Cam Thomas equals Jason Tatum. Correct.
I mean, listen, sounds like a guy who's a little bit worried, but let's get into the Jets.
Not even remotely worried. The thing, I'm not worried about this because the Nets just do not have the personnel, B, the type of players that the Celtics have to make that type of run.
All right, anyway, getting into the game for this week.
Not worried.
You're not worried. I get it. Whatever. We'll see. It's November 3rd. Listen, we can get into the game from last week more. I think Greg and I talked it out pretty well on Sunday night. Just a disappointing effort. Bad day from Zach. The tape confirmed. I say tape as someone who watched tape. I saw like tweets about the tape that made it sound like it was really bad. So we'll see how it goes this week. I think in my head, this is not, I was joking before. I'm not really confident. I don't see this as a game the Jets can outright win. I'm not confident like I was the last few weeks. Obviously, the Bills are probably the best team in the NFL, maybe the second best in the NFL. So when you're playing a team that's a juggernaut like this one, especially on offense, I think we're going to find ourselves in some trouble. But I think it's a good game, a good chance for a bounce back for Zach. I think it's a bounce back for Saleh and the staff. And as always, another test for Sauce. So with Diggs and Davis, and same thing with DJ. Sauce and DJ both, big week for them. So I'm excited about that. I'll set the table on those three things. And then, Greg, I don't know what you've been thinking about the game. If you see some holes, some opportunities for us, talk through that a little bit.
So I watched the the Packers game pretty intently, the Packers-Bills game on Sunday night, and it seemed like they kind of laid a somewhat of a blueprint to hang with Buffalo. Now, executing that blueprint is a whole different ball game, but it really comes down to long possessions, keep Allen off the field, force him to make those one or two throws, and capitalize off of it. And the Packers got down really early, but the Bills seemed to still run their offense. But it really seemed like that's kind of the key to staying in this. It's got to be a muck it up type of game. I am very, very worried about the plays where Allen extends it with his legs, because that's just a lot of time for DBs to cover. And as good as Sauce and as good as DJ are, you can't ask them to cover for 5, 6, 7 seconds down the field. You just can't do it. I mean, every Buffalo game you watch, when he escapes the pocket and he's just running around back there, there's a guy wide open every single time. And communication has to be a thing. They can't make mental errors. Tackling is going to be huge, especially with Allen. It's, this team, we're really going to see if they've learned from their tackling woes, because some of the times they like to arm tackle and it's not great, and you can't do that against a guy like Allen. So they're going to have to
sometimes like arm tackle. They arm tackle every week.
Yeah, which is so fucking frustrating. But this is a game where you really have to play fundamentally sound football. You cannot give the Bills extra possessions, and you have to muck up the game. Muck it up, long drives, keep them off the field if you can. You can't go into this game thinking we need to score with the Bills, because you're going to get blown out of the building. You can't do that. That's where my head's at right now.
Understood. Jay?
Fuck the Bills. Listen, end of the day, like,
there he is.
I watched the fucking Dolphins beat this team, so I don't want to hear everybody talking this shit that we can't beat them, because we can beat them. Our defense is every bit as good as the Dolphins defense, if not better. And the Dolphins defense shut this team down. So we want a blueprint. Watch the fucking Dolphins game, and I feel like 13 points is a lot of points to give, a home team in a division, in a division rivalry matchup. I'm not going to predict a win, but I think there's going to be a game there. I think we should be able to hang with them, assuming that Zach doesn't revert to like what he did last game. I mean, if we can protect the ball, if we win the turnover battle, we will be in this game till the end. Will we win? I don't know, but that's how I feel.
I hear you on that. Yeah, I hear you on that. I think the part I'm struggling with is on offense right now. Like, I just don't know. Like, you're saying 13 points is a lot. How many points are we going to score this week? Like, I don't
exactly.
How many points are we going to be able to score on this Bills defense with the way our offense has played recently, with the way the plays have been called? And I want to talk about LaFleur a little bit. I want to talk about the Elijah usage a little bit. Mike's been pretty upfront this week. Like, I need to do a better job making Zach better. I need to do a better job in game situations. So it's funny. Greg talks about this all the time, but the NFL is like the most week-to-week thing of all time. Like, it's crazy how fast deficiencies get exposed in the NFL. And when you're playing a team like Buffalo, who is going to exploit every single problem you have in every aspect of your team, it makes it tough to rationalize saying, hey, we're going to be able to hang with them in this game. We're going to be able to cover in this game.
Okay, Packers lost to them by 10, right? And we whipped the Packers' ass. And I know it doesn't really typically work like that, like where like that correlates, but I feel like we can hang in this game with them one way or another. I mean, you have to be.
There's a path
with a defense like we have. I feel like, how many points are they going to score? Let's reverse engineer this on us.
Probably 30 something.
34.
No.
34.
Nope.
Jay.
Mid 20s tops. 24, 20.
Wait, great. Let's call it 24. So in order for us to cover, we have to score 10 points.
Yeah, we're putting up 10 on them easy.
Jay. I mean, listen, I'm with you, bro.
They lost to a team that kicked 5 field goals last week.
This is a one-score game at the end of the game. Well, mark my words. So one way or another, this is going to be a one-score game at the end of the game. I don't know how it's going to happen.
Great.
But
Jets are going to get another garbage time touchdown. And Tyler.
I mean, I predicted 35-3 Jets last week, so what the fuck do I know? But I'm not going to come out here and predict that we're going to get blown out. I'm just not going to do
it. That's fair. I hear you on that. We can do predictions later in the episode, final score predictions. But obviously, one of the big things that happened in the NFL this week was the trade deadline. We made one move, the trade of Jacob Martin, that felt like something that was brewing for several weeks. I think with the way our defensive line is set up, you have Jermaine coming back. Vinny Curry, my guy, has stepped up. Clemens continues to play well. The defensive line in general is playing well. There's just only a certain number of guys who can get snaps on a week-to-week basis, and I always felt like Jacob Martin was the guy. Kind of felt like the odd man out. Like I wanted more Huff snaps in that case. So I thought, the return form was really strong. What was it, a 4th and a 6th? Is that right? Mm-hmm. Good return as usual, Joe. And then the non-trade of Elijah Moore. I think people for the last couple weeks have been assuming that we'd be moving on from him, but I never really got that feeling. Like I feel like we kind of know the blueprint of how these guys act now, where it's they're going to build them up, they're going to build them up, they're going to build them up, they're going to try to make him work, and then they're also going to make him, take his medicine a little bit. Like how many snaps he ended up playing last week? Like 10?
10.
Yeah, and this week Mike's saying we're going to try to get him more involved. I've seen some conversation among the fans, and we can get into this a little bit about like stop being stubborn about Elijah Moore. I don't know if it's necessarily being stubborn. It's more like it's a combination of like he wasn't really doing that much when he was playing a bunch of snaps, and he also tried to embarrass the whole organization. So sometimes you got to say it again, you got to take your medicine in those spots. So what do you think about the trade deadline? Did you expect them to trade Elijah? Did you want them to trade Elijah? I think Jay did actually, but he didn't. Okay.
No, I knew he wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah,
I wasn't even in favor of them sending him anywhere because you're not going to get anything of even close to equal value for him. So why trade him? He's not making any money. So like it's not like you're trying to dump his salary or something. There's no reason to get rid of him.
I'm with you on that. Greg?
Yeah, the Elijah thing, I'm aligned with you, Lou. He's a super talented player. A guy with Corey Davis out, you could really use in an offense. But yeah, you're not going to come out after beating a team like Green Bay the way that they did and embarrass the franchise coming off of a huge one like that. A team still 5-3, and just expect everything to be, tip-top shape. Everything's good now. We're going to get back in. You're going to be in the defense. Nothing. I fully agree with you. And is it stubborn? Maybe. Is it kind of silly? Maybe. But there's a standard with this organization, and the team's winning. And you're not. It's very clear that this is going to be a thing where, hey, we're not going to be pushed around by dumb shit like this. Like guys who want to play, guys who want to commit, cool. We're going to put them in. Denzel Mims requested a trade. Sat there, waited patiently, got his opportunity, and he's making the most of it in these last couple of games. Mm-hmm. So my hope is that type of thing kind of happens with Elijah, where he, they kind of do the same thing with Mims. They phase him out a little bit, but when your number's called, you make some plays, build some confidence back up. And
yeah, I mean, he had a great reception towards the end of the game on Sunday. We didn't even really get to talk about it. And Greg, I know you feel like that might have been like garbage time, but it didn't feel like they were playing like prevent defense. That seemed like a real catch and run. Like he made a play on that.
Yeah, it was bad tackle, and he bounced off, and he got extra yard. It was a great play. But that's the type of shit, hopefully it kicks in Elijah's head that, look, am I happy with my production? No, obviously not. But if my number's called about it, and I start making plays, I can start getting more exposure. I can start making the plays I want to make, and it all just kind of snowballs for him, which who knows if that's going to be the case, but that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. And if not, cool. We'll keep giving snaps to Jeff Smith, keep giving snaps to Denzel Mims, guys who are out there and are doing their jobs, not to be that guy, but they're 5-3 right now. There's no time for this bullshit. Either you're going to go out there and you're going to produce and you're going to play, or you're not. They're not 1-6. They're not 1-7.
I didn't like Jeff Smith doing a 15-second celebration and even get in the end zone when we were down 2 scores with 1 minute and 26 seconds left. You're trying to get to the line.
Yeah, that was a little bit tough.
Bothered me.
Bothered me too, because it's at a big point in the game.
Yeah.
Get to the line, dude. Like, what are you doing? I mean, he was already down there, so like, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not gonna make a big deal of it, but like, come on,
Yeah,
dude. Yeah.
I'm with you.
I don't know. Yo, going back to Jacob Martin, when I was in Denver, when I was at the Broncos game, funny enough, like literally the next seat, like I went with Aislinn, and the next seat over from us was Jacob Martin's girlfriend. So we were talking to her the whole time, and she was just going on and on about how much she can't stand Denver and her sinuses are all jacked up. She's like, I can't even imagine if Jacob played here, how terrible that would be. And then all of a sudden, I felt so bad. That's all I could think about when I heard he got to Denver.
That's tough.
I was like, damn, his girl is going to be upset.
That's
tough. Devastating for her.
She was the nicest girl ever, too.
That's good to hear. One other thing that happened this week that I wanted to make sure we talked about, and I have just an opinion on in general. Garrett Wilson wins Rookie of the Week in the on the offensive side of the ball. I think we need to abolish fan voting. Like I'm the biggest fan of Jets Twitter and the Jets fans on the internet just dominating the vote week over week. But like something has to be done here. Like it's clearly a rigged system. Like I went in and voted like 20 times. It took me like 30 seconds. And like I don't know if I can go in there and vote 20 times. Who knows how many? We must be blowing the votes out of the water because it's crazy.
Show us the ballots.
Stop the count.
It's not like we're winning with guys that shouldn't be winning, though. To be fair, like Garrett Wilson had a huge game last week. Like every week, we have a rookie that's going crazy. It's a good sign for the future of our franchise that every week we have somebody at least in consideration, even if they don't win. I mean, they're showing up every week. I'm into that.
Yeah,
we're like 1 week away from some team's fan base like rallying around to stop the steal mantra for Jets Twitter.
It might happen. Like I think if I'm trying to think of like someone in our like if James Cook goes off against us and we still manage to win, like I don't know, something bad's gonna happen.
They traded James Cook.
Storming a Florham Park.
They traded James Cook? No, they didn't. They traded Zach Moss.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, Zach Moss.
Fine, Jay, eat it.
You're right.
Getting back to Garrett, I think he was kind of unlocked again last week. He had a ton of targets during the game. He was clearly like the focal point of the offense, it felt like.
Thank God.
Thank God. It makes sense. Your number 10 overall pick is the focal point of your offense. I think we need to continue that. Buffalo's hurt on defense. I think they're missing a bunch of guys, it seems like, Greg and Jay.
Yeah.
Both safeties are out, yeah.
And Milano might not play.
Yeah, and I saw some stat about Milano. When Milano doesn't play, their rush defense is like near the bottom of the league or something.
He's really, really good.
Yeah. So
I think Trey White, but I think Trey White might be coming back. I think I saw. I'm not 100% positive on that.
Okay. Yeah, listen, I think the blueprint's there for us on offense. It's going to come down to Zach, just like always, right? Like he has to come ready to play. I think it'll be a different environment this week in the stadium, which will help. It seems to me that every single time there's a big moment coming into the game, whether it's his debut or coming off a big win, team's hot, big Patriots game, he comes out and just looks kind of flat. So hopefully, I think the energy in the stadium this week will be a lot different than it was last week. So hopefully in a situation where there's not as much pressure on him or as much focus on the whole week going into it, he can perform a little bit better.
Yeah, this is the type of game where I hate to use this term because I just can't stand it, but like no one realistically expects them to win a game. So like
no,
go out
I don't
there.
think anybody thinks the Jets are going to win the game today.
So like, except for Jay. So like go out there, have fun, let it rip, and like there's really no pressure on you at all. This seems like a type of game where you just hey, we'll let it rip, right? Like
25 to 30 passes shouldn't be that hard to achieve with like 60% completion. It just shouldn't be.
We thrive with opposing teams' crowd noise. There's gonna be a lot of Bills fans there. We're 4-0 on the road. I welcome it. I'm honestly like for some reason this team seems to be they play better in fuck you mode than they do like trying to protect the home field. So like let's go.
Jay's actually going in Bills gear to try to help with that.
I'm gonna dress up.
Von Miller didn't practice today?
I think it was a vet rest.
No. Yesterday was a vet rest day. Today was an ankle injury. Did not practice. That would be huge because obviously our offensive line is
He's gonna
struggling.
fucking kill us if he plays.
I also saw I was listening to, I want to say it was like Red Zone or something, and they were talking about Vaughn. Like pretty much all of his numbers have come in the fourth quarter this year. It seems like he kind of like moonwalked to the first 3 quarters of games and then just lights it up in the fourth.
That's what they signed him for, like to make those plays at the end of games. Like he did it in the Chiefs game. He helped force that interception. Like he's just always there at big times, and he's one of my favorite football players. And to see him go to the Bills and be good is just crushing. Sorry, I like other players on other teams.
No, it's not about liking other players on other teams. It's that all your favorite players play for our biggest rivals. You love Tua.
Yeah, noted Tua fan, diehard. No, Vaughn. I loved Vaughn for years, and then he went to the Bills. I was crushed.
I know, I'm joking with you. It's Vaughn's one of those guys who
Christian Wilkins guy.
He's one of the first guys I feel like who's like a true mercenary who only comes in. He's like a DH that he's like if the Astros trading for Trey Mancini, that's pretty much Von Miller, except just a lot better. Like he only comes in to come off the bench and make plays. And if he's really only playing well in not playing well in fourth quarters, but if he's really going for it the most in fourth quarters, that's kind of cool. He just comes in to end games and win games.
It's so fucking annoying. Like you've got the Bills with their high-powered offense, right? Like they can score on anybody, and then the minute you have like a glimmer of hope in the fourth quarter, here comes fucking Von Miller to game wreck it. It's like great, awesome.
I gotta fill you guys in on something that made me angry this week, Jets Bills related.
Yes, please.
Before I get into what I really want to get into, what made me angry, but this particular thing, I was making that video of Fireman.
Angry.
Yeah, pre-angry. I was making that video of Fireman Ed.
Yes, wait, pause 1 second. Pause 1 second. If you haven't checked it out yet, please go on our Instagram at JustEnoughToPod or YouTube. It'll be here. It's listed on this YouTube channel under our shorts, whatever. Please like it. Please engage with it. Jay did an excellent job. Would love for you to check it out. Continue, Jay.
Last 2 weeks, crushed it.
Yep.
Appreciate you. Yeah, we're gonna do that every week. I'm having a lot of fun with that. We're gonna, link up with other big Jets fan accounts and stuff like that. So
cool.
But I was getting the clips for the 2019 game, right? Like the week one. Afterwards, Sam Darnold's got mono. Mosley goes out.
Should have won that game.
There was so much that made me angry when I was looking at the highlights of that game to like pull the clips, and I just want to bring it back just in your guys' memories, just to how ridiculous it was. Do you guys remember our kicker that we rolled into week one with Kari Vedvik? And
yes,
he was so bad that like, he missed the first extra point, he missed his first field goal, and then we decided he was so bad like that we stopped using him and started going for 2-point conversions in that game. Like we wouldn't it was like we didn't have a kicker because they just were like, we're never putting you back out there because you suck so bad. And then so we were kicking the shit out of them up until we were up 16-0. Should have been 17-0. This missed extra point. Should have been 20-0 if he hits a field goal. But we're crushing them. They couldn't do anything, and Mosley is just killing them. We got a safety. We got like all this crazy shit's happening, and then it just went to hell. Like literally, like overnight, like from that moment on, like the Gase era was gone. It imploded. Like the whole thing was just all fucked up.
Mosley's hamstring.
Yeah, the Mosley injury was so critical in that game. It was crazy.
Critical, like I think for like the entire future. Like if you win that game, then what? Like I don't know, but the whole direction of everything changed on that injury. It's just so crazy to think, and that just made me mad. It makes me want to like crush the Bills this week. So I hate the Bills so much.
We need Jamison Crowder to have another 14 receptions for 73 yards. It's like we did in that game.
Someone should ask CJ like about that game and like what he thought about it and like just kind of where he's been, because it changed the trajectory of his career, I would say, because he was out the rest of that year. He missed the whole COVID year, and then he kind of changed himself and became a different player once he came back. It's pretty interesting, actually.
Remember when it was like a week-to-week injury for Mosley, and then
they thought he'd be back like 2 weeks later.
They brought him out for like one quarter, didn't they? And then he
They brought him back against New England on Monday night, and it was very clear that this guy should not be out there. And New England picked on him all night, and it looked like he was running in cement, and then he was just done. And then he's like, do I want to play for Adam Gase in a COVID year? Absolutely not. I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah, remember then there was that story that he was like at an Applebee's in Tuscaloosa or something? Was that real?
I don't know, but
I kind of hope it is.
Someone had a picture of it.
Okay, now I want to tell you what actually made me mad, and then we can jump back in. I'm getting sick and tired of seeing Woody Johnson's whoever's tweeting for it's not Woody Johnson, let's be honest, but whoever's tweeting for Woody Johnson on Twitter, like and on the Jets like accounts, celebrating that we sold out a game like it's a big accomplishment. Like, this is a fucking organization that had a 50-year waiting list as recently as 10 years ago for season tickets. They sold out every game through the Rich Kotite era. And then Woody comes along, and then they give us MetLife Stadium and absolutely demolish the game day atmosphere, and nobody's going to games anymore. Now we're celebrating that 30,000 Bills fans bought tickets on Sunday so that, like, the building's sold out. Stop it. Please stop. Please stop it, dude. Like, have a little bit of self-awareness and read the room. Like, fans don't we want our game day atmosphere back, and I'm happy that it's a sold out stadium rather than having 20,000 empty seats when the Bills are in town. But I mean, come on, that's not something to celebrate. Like, it's should be expected that you're selling games out. This is the New York Jets. That's what they do. Period.
I hear you on that, Jay, and I am aligned with your sentiment. I think for a long time the organization has been focused on the wrong shit. And one of those things that is the wrong shit is like selling out tickets or like
Getting
changing
the back
up
page.
Yeah, the back page, uniform stuff, like those type of things are,
Tim
I think,
Tebow.
the wrong things to be focused on. But we've been horrific pretty much since we opened up MetLife, outside of a 2-year stretch right when they were first opened. The games were sold out when they were good, right? Like, that's not something new. But the team's been really, really bad for really long. It is a good sign that more people are willing to come out to the stadium. I wonder how many I would be curious to know. I guess we'll figure it out Sunday when you see the crowd, how many of those people are Bills fans versus Jets fans. Hopefully we can get some kind of home field advantage. It's possible that there's going to be a lot of fans out for this game. Josh Allen's is a big draw, I would imagine, to an NFL game. So hopefully there's a lot of Jets fans there. But I'm with you. I think Woody and the ownership group, and I don't know what the right term is for this, but I'm going to say the front office has been focused on, like, just really things that don't really matter that much on the field. So it's that is very frustrating. I think the jersey thing was such a mistake last week. I really this is going to sound really stupid, but like, you don't mess with Juju like that. Like, it was working, it was going fine, and the minute you announce that you're doing something like that, and they also clearly, like, Woody was talking about it, it's like, we're going to keep the same jerseys, we're going to keep the same jerseys, we're going to keep don't if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think he literally tweeted that out. Doing the black helmet thing, that, number one, no one can even buy. Can you even buy a black helmet? Like, what is the point of it? Like,
we saw
why?
it at camp.
Oh, those were available for sale. But like, how many people are buying a black helmet? Like, I don't know what the
I
point
told you
was.
to buy one.
Yeah, I bought that straw hat instead.
Show up in games with a full helmet on.
That's actually a good idea. I might do something like that. But it's just one of those things where they're worried about, dollars and cents, people through the door, what the concessions are selling, all that stuff. And in a world where the team's been irrelevant for so long, and they have been truly irrelevant for a really long time, they're looking for any kind of victory. So I can see why they do what they do, but I'm with you. It's kind of bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, you want to get more people in the stands and buy tickets, like, put a better product on the field. It's not that they were bad; they were, like, horrifically bad, like, unwatchable for a bunch of those years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's go ahead.
Not sorry to cut you off. Not even necessarily because the front office and the people who sell tickets and all that, like, they don't control what's on the field. So I have empathy for all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like, make the game day experience better. Because the other thing that Jay said was, like, the game day experience is ruined. He's not wrong. Like, there's not a whole lot that goes on during the games leading into a game. The stadium is shared with the Giants. It's a very bland, boring stadium. I love the Jets. I love all the people over there. I love all that stuff. But Jay's right. Like, the stadium is just not a great time unless the team is winning. Then it's fun,
Right. It is, and it's super frustrating because I only get to make it. My dad and I, we only get to make it maybe 1-2 games a year max, and every time we go, it's like 60-40 opposing teams fans to Jet fans, and it's like we can't even make the trip to MetLife and enjoy a game day experience with Jet fans, and it ruins. We can't. We talk about it all the time. Like, we don't remember a time that we've been to MetLife where it's been like legit a home game. It's mostly opposing
not
teams
a long
fans.
time.
And it's it
this
sucks
past week was a home game. It was very sad.
Right, which again, like, we live 4 or so hours away.
Yeah, it's
my
tough.
dad and I, and since we only get to make it to 1 or 2 games, like you said, we love the team. We love hanging out with the people we do when we go, but it's just like, it's super frustrating that when when an opposing team scores, it feels like you're at an away game.
I know how to fix it, but we'll do that another time. I'll get
You
back
know
in.
how to fix it?
Yeah.
Someone should
What are you
hire
doing?
Jay. 'Cause he
What
could
are you
fix the
doing on
NFL.
this? What are you
Can I
doing
tell
on
you
this
something, Lou?
podcast?
Can I tell you something, Lou? I'll be honest. If Gary ever buys the team, I'm going to
Jay's
beg
got the keys to inflation.
him to put me in charge of fixing that stadium, and I will do an amazing job with that. I will have
Just send inflation a first round pick and end this thing, Jay.
That's right. All right. Anything else we want to talk about pregame? I think
I know how to fix this.
I respect it.
I
Jay
know how
has
to fix
thoughts.
it.
I respect it.
I love it. Go to Woody Johnson.
He would never listen to me because I'm
Woodrow,
and I ruined that relationship. But that's
you just crushed him for 5 minutes, so that's kind of
Willie Colon was talking about the Fire Idzik stuff on the Rosillo pod this week.
Was he?
Willie Colon?
Yeah. He was on with Rosillo, and he was talking about they'd have to drive into the facilities and they'd see the Fire Idzik signs on the way in for like Saturday morning practices, and every day at like 3 p.m. there'd be a Fire Idzik banner flown over the practice field.
I don't know who would do such a thing. Certainly not.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe I have in my head planned an off-season episode where we deep dive into that with a bunch of people. I wonder who would be able to help us do that. We'll do that down the road. In the meantime, is there anything else that we want to discuss going into the week?
I want to make predictions. I'm ready.
Let's do predictions. Let's get into it. Jay, you're very excited, so I'm gonna let you go first. And I'll go.
Guys,
last.
Never been more excited for a prediction.
I've never been more excited to predict the loss, but I'm gonna say something. This is going to be one of those games similar to when the Giants played the Patriots the last game of the year when they were undefeated and they lost to them, but they hung in there and they got confidence out of it and they went on to win the Super Bowl that year. I'm not predicting the Jets to win the Super Bowl, but I'm saying that they're going to take an L in this game that's going to build confidence that they can hang with these guys. And they're going to go into New England after the bye and kick the shit out of them, be 6-4, and go on a little run with a relatively easier schedule coming up after the New England game. So I'm predicting 24-21 Buffalo. They're going to hit a field goal walk-off style. The Jets are going to tie it up late. Josh Allen's going to go down the field with like 20 seconds left. They're going to hit like a 47-yard field goal. They're going to walk off. We're all going to be sad, but it's just going to get the Jets fired up and be ready for a big second half. So that's my prediction.
I like that. Greg?
34-13 Bills. I'm sorry to take the wind out of your sails, Jay, but I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to, but I just, the way that the Bills score and they can score at will, and it seems like they're unstoppable on offense. Just, we have the defense to do it, and they might get them off the field a couple times, but the quarterback play is just, it's not there to be competing with a team like that right now. Hope I'm wrong, but
yeah, I think maybe, Jay, this is a little mental note for you and I think maybe this Sunday afternoon show, we should get into the mind of Greg Armstrong, who's done a complete 180 on Zach Wilson in a matter of hours.
The New England game crushed me.
It crushed you.
It was so bad. It was so bad.
I was posting.
I'm going the other way now.
I wanted him benched. I'd had enough. I saw the end. Now here I am. It goes Wednesday. The fucking Wednesday. Every week on Wednesday, I flip the switch and I'm like back into the Jets are gonna fucking win this game mode. Monday and Tuesday is my vent period, and then Wednesday I'm good again. But I wanted him benched on Monday. I couldn't take fucking Zach Wilson.
You were fired up.
Those receptions, I was like, I couldn't understand what the fuck he was doing. Like, I just don't understand. Like, you're throwing the ball away. Throw it away. What the fuck? Like, why are you tiptoeing down the fucking line and lobbing it up in bounds? I don't get it.
It gets boring throwing the ball away, Jay. I don't know what to tell you.
So
the one that broke me.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're throwing it away anyway. If you're gonna throw it away, throw it away.
The one that broke me was the last one. That was the one that broke me.
There's so much to hate about that game. Why wasn't? Can I ask you guys a question? Maybe you know better than I do. Why wasn't that roughing the kicker on our missed field goal when they fucking ran into his leg, swept his legs out from under him?
The answer is that it's
roughing the kicker? If the Jets did that, guaranteed 15-yard penalty, and they fucking go in for a touchdown after that.
I agree.
Michael Clemens would be exiled from the NFL if he did that.
The game was I knew we were in trouble, and I swear to God, you guys aren't going to believe me. I thought to myself, when CJ got called for that late hit on Mac Jones, I was like, oh, we're in trouble. because it was very obvious they were going to be ticky-tacky from that point on, and they were ticky-tacky towards us the rest of the way.
Why don't we
Towards
ever
us.
get
That key
call?
point. Towards us.
Why don't we ever get that call? Why is it?
Because we're the
I'm not
Jets.
into this whole like NFL bias,
Not good.
fucking rigged shit, anything like that. But like for some reason, we get like, there's no chance if a Jets special teamer went into Nick Folk like that and he missed the field goal, it's not a 15-yard penalty and they're not getting the ball back. Like it's just no chance.
Lou brought it up. I think on our post game show, the refs are just sick of Saleh.
It's very obvious, Jay. I think next time are you going Sunday?
Yeah, I'm going. Are you
okay? So I'll be there Sunday. Yeah, we'll text.
Oh, let's go.
I'll probably be there Sunday. We'll see. When you're there, I want you to watch the way Saleh interacts with the refs. It's he's in their fucking ear all game long. From the first snap, he's in their ear. And I think refs are just not happy with it because we're very loud, very brash, very aggressive. Like we hit hard. We hit a little bit late. We do a lot of the hand checking. We do a lot of the things. We're trying to get away with a lot of stuff. And I think the refs are just not into it. So we're not getting any calls right now.
Well, that's not going to help us on Sunday. Hopefully that changes.
Certainly not.
Everything broke the Patriots' way in that game. Everything.
It happens, man.
We got a strip sack on Mac Jones. They get the ball. They land on the ball. We should have had that ball. The guy's knees out of bounds on the interception. I don't know why that was not reversed. The running into the kicker. They were like, we missed a field goal. They hit 5. I mean, it was like unbelievable how many things had to go down for them to beat us by 5 points in that game. That's why I'm so confident going into the rematch. I can't wait to play.
Jay, we did do a post game show 4 days ago, by the way.
Damn, that was kind of fucked up. I'm pumped up too for the rematch today. That was fucked up, Greg. He was just fired up trying to get his shit off, and you're just like crushing his spirit.
That's the whole point. I didn't get to be in on that. I was on
because you were busy doing your own thing. I mean, listen, I'm trying to be on your side here. I mean, like you voluntarily missed this show.
No, Jay's text after the game were it was just like boom, 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 boom.
He was pissed, rightfully so. It was not a good time.
No,
it was not a good time. All right. Couple things that Jay said during his little soliloquy about the game. The schedule is very weird down the stretch. Something I saw something also. Like I keep saying I've seen something. I need to start like saving the things I see so I can talk about them on the show. But something about how we have like the toughest DVOA the rest of the way. DVOA is one of those stats I don't understand. I saw something that we had like the worst offense, but the best defense. There's no way we have the best defense. There's no way we have the worst offense. So like,
if you just say it, you're a smarter football guy. You just say it.
Yeah, it's like, shout out PFF George. Like he just is like, yo, DVOA, and then everyone's like, oh, he's right. So
draft picks.
With that in mind, this schedule is very interesting down the road. Draft picks. We got the Bills, the bye. The Pats, Bears, Vikings is a very interesting 3-game stretch. Obviously, anticipating a loss here, you want to go 2-1 in that stretch somehow, some way.
It's 1 p.m. Kirk Cousins, unfortunately.
At home, too. It's tough.
Yeah, that's something to take into account. If that game's at 4, I feel way more confident.
It gets dark in Minnesota very early.
I'm calling at Foxborough a lock, and we're going to
take
care of business at home against Chicago, so I'm feeling good.
All right, we'll see how we'll get there. Anyway, so it's this Sunday's game. I'm going to do what Jay did. I'm going to have a successful loss in a different way. I'm going to say this game is 34-21 Patriots. 33-20 Patriots. 33-20. I like it a little bit weirder.
That would be weird.
Yeah, it's a couple field goals. 33-20. They barely don't. We barely cover.
12.5 now. It's down to it was 13.
Oh, well, I'm keeping 33-20.
You're saying the Bills are covering the spread.
What did I say?
That's 13.
You said the Patriots.
Oh, I meant the Bills. Obviously. Anyway, the thing that doesn't happen, I think Diggs gets shut out. He doesn't score a touchdown. He's kept to 4 for 70 or something. Has like one big catch and then mostly kept in check by Sauce the rest of the day. So coming out of that game, we're like feeling good about Sauce, and it's a tough loss, but the defense was pretty decent, all things considered. So it's a happy loss.
What's your one play? We always do a play every week.
That's true. We do one key play. Well, the walk-off Bills field goal would be your key play.
The walk-off Bills field goal would be my key play. My key player for the Jets in this game has to be – I don't understand – I'm not going to go too far in depth on it, but, why did we try to force James Robinson so much into that game last week? I don't get it. Like, Michael Carter's sitting there, and Michael Carter's like knows the playbook, ingrained. You like that they were giving the ball to, like, what's his name?
Ty Johnson. I'm one of the biggest Mike Carter guys around. Mike Carter is not a 15 rushes guy.
Not a bell cow, which is fine.
That's not who he is. I think, and I know what you're saying, Jay. Like, you want to give the guy who knows the playbook some more touches. I think they're going to give him. They gave him a lot of in the pass game. He was in a lot on passing downs. So I think we'll get back to something that looked a lot like the Brees Mike situation as soon as they can get J Rob, ramped up. They have this game, they have the bye, and then I expect by the Patriots game they'll be giving it what they actually are looking forward to the rest of the year.
Okay, but my player to look out for, I'm going to throw it out there because I feel like if he has a game, we have a good shot of competing in this game. Fuck it, Eli Moore. Let's see what he can do.
Hey,
get him involved early. Get
All
throw
right.
him the wide receiver screen. Get him involved. Get him excited, and let's see if we can get him the ball.
Eli's the new Denzel Mims, where it's like everyone's just waiting for Eli to be unleashed.
Snap count,
big
whatever. Snap count guy.
I don't know, bro. Like,
Jets are up 64-3, and people are tweeting about the snap count for Elijah Moore.
let's save it for Sunday and see how it pans out. If it was just a 1-game doghouse, or if that's how it's going to be going forward, I'll hold off judgment until then. I am of the opinion that the team should do whatever they want with their roster and make sure that a message is sent. That's my perspective, and I love Elijah more than anybody.
I'm going to say James Robinson receiving touchdown.
Ooh.
I like that.
Receiving touchdown.
You probably get good odds on that on like DraftKings. You should look that up.
Receiving.
My key play is going to be a Braden Mann fake punt pass first down. Ooh. That gives us some energy early. That leads to a punt 3 plays later.
What an outrageous prediction!
Leads to the inevitable 58-yard missed field goal.
When was the last time we faked a punt and threw a pass? I can't remember.
I don't. Do people even do that anymore? We threw a pass against Cleveland.
Threw a dot to Jeff Smith. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did. I forgot about that. That's funny. All right. Well, yeah, that was my key.
The fake punt first down where they end up losing yards on the drive.
All right, everybody. That was just enough to suffer. It was a fun, warm-hearted episode. The boys are expecting to lose, so you keep it light, you keep it loose. Mm-hmm. I'm focused on the World Series, but we'll be back Sunday afternoon after the game. Thank you to Greg. Thank you to Jay, as always. If you made it this far, again, please, would love a like. If you can subscribe, comment, anything like that. We're trying to build this show up, so we appreciate anyone who made it this far. And we'll see you next time.
Check out the shorts.
Yeah, definitely check out the shorts. Check out the Instagram, Twitter, all that. Anything you can do is amazing. We appreciate you. That's it for this episode.
Don't let the Bills miss that 47-yard kick so we can win in overtime.
Don't let them miss it.